Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for September 14th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and with me today is Aman. How you doing, Aman?
I'm good, Taran. I'm happy to be back. I feel like last night was a lot, and I'm ready to dissect all of it with you and with everyone that's joining us here this morning. So I'm good. I'm great.
Yes, we are here live in the morning after a crazy double eviction, and we're going to talk to you about everything that happened on the Big Brother 20 live feeds yesterday, before and after this crazy double eviction. So get ready.
Double evictions never ever go the way that we usually want them to go, but tonight or last night rather, I'm willing to accept the results of said double eviction.
Yes. So yesterday, prior to the double eviction, we talked yesterday about how the plan was in place. Angela was on board. Kaycee is on board. Tyler has finally got both of them ready to go to take the shot at Brett. And we also talked yesterday about how Kaycee and Angela were talking about hey, why don't we leave goodbye messages to Haleigh blaming Brett for all of this? And I was like, I think these two might actually do this. I don't think Tyler's in on this, though. And yesterday, before the double eviction, they did confirm to Tyler, oh, yeah, we left goodbye messages blaming Brett. And Tyler was like, oh, you did? Oh, yeah, me too.
It's so stupid. Especially when you have the plan to send him out right afterwards so that he can easily debunk anything that you tell Haleigh. I don't understand it. I mean, why lie on a person, then give them every single opportunity to disprove that lie? And I'm so glad that Tyler, because I mean, Tyler at the end of this game has been making a few risky moves with the people that he's sending out to jury. So I'm glad, at least in this sense, that he had the foresight to be like, I should probably start being a little bit more honest with the people that I'm sending out. And I'm glad that he's like, oh yeah, I kind of sent one too. And he probably didn't, because we didn't see it on last night's episode. So if it had been anything like Kaycee or Angela's, he probably would have seen it. But the fact that they didn't show it probably, that proves that he probably didn't say anything that was messed up. And I'm just like, I just feel like it was stupid. It's just stupid. Like, you're making the game harder for yourself, Angela. I mean, you already don't have a lot of the jury votes, and now on top of that, you plan to lie. Did you guys watch last season? Did you see it in Sequester? I don't understand what you're doing.
Yeah, there are people in the chat saying but was it really a lie? Yes, it was.
Yes.
100% a lie. They planned on lying. They said they'd lie. They said we lied in our goodbye message afterward. As far as they are concerned, this is 100% a lie. Don't forget, it's not like they came out and they said, actually, we've been in an alliance from day one. They're pretending that Brett, the lone wolf, betrayed Haleigh's trust and got her evicted, and that that's the reason she's being evicted, when of course that's not the case at all, and Brett knows that to be the case.
And I don't know if it'll be so interesting to me, because Brett ultimately ended up getting evicted, and Julie asked him, are you going to be bitter? And Brett seemed to take everything in stride and be like, no, I'm not going to be bitter. I love them. He hugged everybody on the way out. He took it very graciously. But that could possibly change when he goes to the house and then Haleigh tells him what they said, and he's sitting around a bunch of other bitter ass bitches. His environment could change him. So it's you literally are making the game a lot harder for yourself in the end, for not just copying to it. This is the part where you tell people, hey, this is what's been going on all season. Tell people about your game. Tell people what you've been doing for the past 3 months. Why wouldn't you want to take credit for that? I don't know. I feel like it's frustrating to me, because you guys have played a pretty good game. whether you want to chalk it up to Faute being idiots the entire time, whether like regardless, you guys have played a pretty good game, and I feel like you're ruining all of your stock now because you just can't make the appropriate move when it's appropriate.
Yes, there's still people saying like, no, it was not a lie. Haleigh did say this to Brett. That doesn't matter. It is a lie because Haleigh and Angela and Kaycee are pretending that Brett told them that Haleigh was coming for them, and that's the reason why they evicted Haleigh, which it is not. It is not the reason they did that.
It was a lie. It was a lie.
If you asked Angela and Kaycee, they would tell you we were lying. It's definitely a lie.
Right.
So people are also saying like, will Haleigh believe Brett when he gets to the jury? And I look, never overestimate Faute. I get it, but is there really like, when Brett goes to the jury house and there's no incentive for him to be lying anymore, and he's got so many things to say, so much information, of course, I was not the vote to keep Rockstar. I've been working with these people since day 3. We call ourselves level 6. This is what happened with Rachel. This is what happened with Winston. This is what happened with the Rockstar call out. Tyler was the flip vote here. Tyler was playing you here, and all of this stuff. Then it's like, why would he lie about that one detail? You know what I mean? I feel like she's gonna believe him.
I mean, I could very easily see a jury segment next week where literally Brett is telling them fact by fact by fact the things that happen in the house, and Faute is just like, oh no, really? Oh, like I could easily see all of that happening. So I don't know. I just wish that he would have won that HOH. I wish that he would have won, because I wouldn't have to be sitting here having this conversation with you about how stupid that was for them to lie, and how Angela probably would have been in the jury right now. And I don't know. It's just like, why can things never go our way? Why do we always have to wish for the best and they never ever deliver? I don't get it. It's like the double eviction conundrum. It really is.
And it's interesting watching level 6 at this point, because it's almost like they're like slapping the face of jury management, because it's like they all came together and agreed, you know what, guys, none of us are going to do jury management. We're just going to try and make good TV. And then they're going to have to choose one of us anyway. So screw the rest of the house. Screw jury management. And so we're seeing like a season without jury management. And it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, in that respect, yeah, it is. But it's also like, is your self-preservation going to kick in at some point and be like, well, yeah, I don't want to manage this jury and no one else was, so it's going to be a very level playing field. But isn't it like a piece of you that's like, but I still want to win? Like $500,000 is a lot of money, and I still want to win. And it's like, I mean, okay, maybe towards Final 4 or Final 3, that might kick in, but I don't know if it'll be too little too late. But I mean, you're right in the sense that we've had so much talk about jury management ever since Paul's epic fail number 2, and we get to see a season where they literally are like, I don't care about any of that. I just want to get to the end with the people that I promised that I would get to the end with. And we'll see whose behavior, that ride or die thing, like we'll see whose behavior gets rewarded in the end. I mean, I still think that Tyler is sort of...
I think he's doing the most between him, Kaycee, and Angela. Right. Which, isn't that much, but it's not leaving lies in his goodbye message, like right. That's Tyler's turn.
At the very least, he's still, doing what he can.
Yeah. And I don't know, I gotta say, I enjoy, I think jury management is boring to watch. I think it's an important part of the game, but jury management is, blind sides are ruined. People are nice when they don't have to be. So I'm actually kind of enjoying the lack of jury management.
I mean, it could very well, depending on the results of the season, it could very well change how the viewers and how everybody, talks about it. I mean, because I think that it was very easy for all of us to jump to the conclusion last year that the reason why Paul lost was because he did not manage the jury. And yes, I believe to a certain extent that is true. But in the event that everybody decides to not care about it this season, and depending on who wins, that could very well shape how we decide to say, like, is jury management that important if everybody decides that it's not important in the game? So yeah, I mean, it makes for an interesting season. There's been a lot of debate as to whether or not Tyler can still win depending on who he takes, like especially if it's Kaycee. And it's not that clear cut, in my opinion, if he will beat her. So I'm very like, it'll make for an interesting ass finale. I think that we have a lot to look forward to in the end game. So I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, this season is reminding me a lot of Big Brother 14. I actually think it's better than Big Brother 14, regardless of the outcome, since Big Brother 14, in my opinion, had a bad outcome. So even if there's a bad outcome, I feel like that just mirrors Big Brother 14 even more. But I feel like the ride to get here, despite Big Brother 14 having bigger individual moments, I feel like there was enough over the course of 10 or so weeks where the things were amazing in Big Brother 20, but it's Big Brother 14 had a great ride for a while, and then basically after the funeral it was okay, now the season's too long. let's wait for Dan to get to the end here, and then there were a couple of like crazy moments, right, where like Dan betrays Shane and all of this stuff, and like that's kind of like what we got last night with Brett going home in the way that he did. And at some point we're gonna have to see Tyler choose between Kaycee and Angela, and that's gonna be pretty crazy to watch. I think that's gonna be one of those moments as well. So I'm really getting a BB14 vibe out of this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely like looking like not to compare their games or not to say that they're both the same, but like Tyler is the Dan, and then anybody else sitting next to him at this point could be the Ian, probably except for the likes of Sam, because Sam really hasn't done a lot, and maybe JC either. But it's really shaping up to be like, is it going to be the person that's been running the season the whole way through, or is it going to be the person that hasn't done as much but still has a respectable game under their belt? And like, what does the jury decide is more worthy? So I mean, yeah, it's as frustrating as I was last night. I'm still optimistic about the future gameplay that we're gonna get.
Yeah, and definitely not making a Tyler Dan compared. If this was Big Brother 14, Haleigh would have been on a winning streak here, and right. Brett would have also been on a winning streak, and Tyler wouldn't have been able to get either of them out until like Final Four.
Right.
That's bad luck on Dan's part that Tyler does not have to deal with, but. We did get, before the double eviction, Angela reassuring Haleigh even more. You're going to stay. Don't worry.
Why? Just tell her. Like, at this point, like, she's leaving. She really can't do much. Like, okay, if you didn't want to tell her last night because you didn't want her going around the house and, just telling everybody that you were the one that told her, like, sure, fine, I get that. But y'all could have at least, like, before the live show, just be like, hey, like, look, like, you don't have the votes. We have to send you out of here. Also, everybody in the jury is your friend. We're just very afraid that you might beat all of us in the jury vote. Just, I don't know. It was unnecessary to me. It was just like, you guys have been blindsiding everybody for so long that that's all you know how to do. It's like they equate eviction with blindside. It's like whoever goes has to be blindsided. And it's like, that's not the case. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, to the point, Haleigh's asking, like, am I going to be the pawn in the double eviction? And Angela's like, I don't know. It's pretty great. And we're going to see this during the double eviction, too, where, like, it's literally, I mean, I guess, like, what do you do? But, Brett comes up to Angela, like, so we're good? We're keeping it the same? She's like, yeah, easy. Nope, not easy.
Especially like when she kind of gives you the avenue to tell her. Like she was telling people, she told Tyler, I feel like really different about this week because no one has been reassuring me. I just like you feel it. Like we've seen it with many a BB player where when they are on the block or they're about to go on the block and get backdoor, they feel it. Like Devon felt it, Haleigh felt it. It's a feeling that you get because people start acting weird. They start treating you differently. They don't talk to you as much. They don't look you in the eyes. Like, just tell her. It makes it that much easier for her. It makes it that much easier for you. And sure, it like ruins the blind side. But in the season of all seasons, for us to like have a ruined blind side, I really think that the audience would have been okay. You know, like we've gotten our fair share of blind sides this season. I really don't think that Haleigh getting blindsided was something that we were all sharpening our knives for. I think that we were okay without it.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'll take Kaycee and Angela over a James any day in terms of that. But I agree. I talked to you yesterday about like just put Haleigh with Haleigh at least put Haleigh out of her misery. She was this is her third week in a row. Yeah. But we are going to see Haleigh evicted by a vote of 4-0 during the double eviction. You could even see on her face, the moment Julie says 4-0, and that's what Haleigh is expecting to stay 4-0. So you see like her face go into like cringe mode, like okay, 4-0. Hopefully I'm good. And then Julie says Haleigh, and she's like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. And of course, like she didn't go out there and say that she expected that to happen or that she didn't expect it to happen because nobody does. But yeah, I don't know. I felt this was like the first eviction out of a season of brutal ass evictions. This was the first one, but I was like, oh damn, like I really, really feel bad. And a portion of that is because like, yeah, okay, you've seen Haleigh a lot more. You've seen her progress through the game, so you kind of grow a sense of attachment to this person because you've been watching them for a longer period of time. But a piece of it is also like, yeah, like as successful as level 6 has been and as great as it's been to watch them sort of dominate the game, you still like the last little piece of hope for a mix up, for a change, for for any like last little bit of life in the game that kind of gets snuffed out when she leaves. Now it's just, whatever Tyler, Kaycee, and Angela want is probably going to happen from here on out. So, it's disappointing. But at the same time, it's like, Haleigh, you really... And I'm glad that she was self-aware in her exit interview with Julie. Like, she's like, I probably should not have said anything about being the hacker. That's where it all went downhill. It's like, okay, well, self-aware queen. At least you can call yourself on your mistakes because that is exactly where you effed up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the bigger mess up is letting Scottie get evicted, but she doesn't. I don't think she knows that quite as acutely yet. I think she will. Once she gets to the jury house and they're like, no, level 6 is a thing. She's gonna be like, oh, so we shouldn't have evicted Scottie, huh?
I'm still like I'm still very surprised that she hasn't been able to really to piece that together. I mean, she saw them celebrating. She had her suspicions. She talked about it. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Big Brother house makes you paranoid in every other situation. Why shouldn't it make you paranoid about this situation? Like, why shouldn't you believe that? But
I guarantee you, when we see the jury segment and Brett tells them about level 6, Haleigh's gonna be, knew it. I knew it. All right, what'd you do with that knowledge, Haleigh?
Yeah, like what did you like? Okay, and yet you're here, letting me talk about it with you. So, mess.
So we're then going to see an HOH competition where Tyler wins the HOH, and he's going to go through with his plan to put JC and Sam on the block in preparation for a Brett backdoor. Then we see the veto play out. Angela's going to win the veto. She removes JC from the block. That's what she calls one step ahead. Tyler replaces him with Brett. That's what he calls 2 steps ahead. Brett is evicted 3-0. And there it is. Brett gone from our TV, but not from our hearts.
I'm very personally upset about this because I did a draft with a few friends and I chose Tyler, Haleigh, Brett, and Rachel. I've since gotten over Rachel because that was, it's been a while, but I lost 2 of my draft picks in one night. So like on a personal level, I'm distraught. Outside of that, I'm still upset because I really wanted him to win this HOH.
Yeah.
I really wanted it. I wanted one last, especially if Tyler would have had to choose between Kaycee and Angie. Like, come on. But a piece of me, but you know what? Like a piece of me, like because JC was so emotional about getting on the block last night, like he was so shook. Like you could tell that he didn't know how to handle himself. He was like, the block, what is this? A piece of me wonders like if Tyler would be able to get in his head at that point one last time. Like would Brett have really taken the initiative first to take him off, second to then be like, we have to do this. I don't know if Tyler would have been able to like really just dive in real quick and be like, we like control. Like, I mean, at that point Tyler would have had no choice, but like at least control who out of Angela would have gone home. It makes me wonder a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what would have happened ultimately, but we can pine for what could have been. Our first love of what we wanted to happen.
I really thought that BB20 would have been the season to deliver that, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's been such a good season, and I was like, I kept thinking to myself, like, I'm on, like, I don't know why you're sitting here expecting good things to happen on Double Eviction, but I'm like, oh, but it's BB20 and it's been so kind to us so far. Like, it can't give us a boring one, and it can. It surely can.
Yeah, I feel like it's production. I feel like they angered the Big Brother gods. Like we were getting such great luck with competition outcomes for so long, and then we got the hacker thing, and it was like, hey, now, production, calm down. Don't be doing these twists. And then like it kind of like the hacker thing was like, oh, this is not playing out exactly how we want, but it's still fine. We're still gonna get some crazy weeks. We're gonna get Fessy nominating Scottie. Everything's fine. Don't worry. And then we get the battle, and then the Big Brother gods are like, nope, you're done. No more good comp outcomes for you. Yeah. You've meddled with the wrath of nature.
It's never like these twists are never good unless the people that we want them to win them, and it's never, most of the time it's never worth that risk, because a lot of the times we see that it doesn't pan out in the way that we want it to, and then the season sort of just continues to progress in that downward spiral. So I don't know. I think Rockstar had it right when she said whoever she felt most betrayed by was the person who came up with that hacker twist. So
yes,
there it is.
But it's fine. It's it's basically for me, like, this season was on track to be like 10 out of 10, one of the best seasons of all time. I think it's probably now going to be like 9 out of 10, still one of the best seasons. But
it's like starting off with an A, and then it just kind of gets chipped off a bit as time goes on. But it's still, in my opinion, like, okay, sure, like we had 2 boring ass weeks, that's fine, but like in the grand scheme of things, when we look back on the season after it's over, we are still going to fondly remember all of the crazy shit that happened, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, this season has given us so much, and I don't want to, like, I really don't get bogged down by like because I like the Big Brother fan base as a whole. I think we are prone to complain, yes. And so I want to like. This has been an amazing season, and Big Brother is a great show, and I think we are all going to be very happy with the season. Looking back on it, I think we're all going to look very fondly on the blind sides and the just the craziness that has gone down. And I honestly think we're even going to enjoy this end game, especially with some of the I mean, I know this Brett stuff. It's raw. We feel hurt. We've lost Brett, but looking back, I think we're gonna be like, man, was that crazy? Man, was that great? I've just like remain. Our hearts are broken right now, but time heals all wounds, and someday we're gonna find a new love, and we're gonna look fondly back at Big Brother 20 as, man, what a great time that was.
Ditto. I think that all it'll take is just a little bit of time, a little bit of perspective, once the season ends, and then we get another season, and heaven forbid that season is like dull as hell. We're gonna be like, oh my god, like BB20 was so much better than this. So like, the Big Brother fandom, like we are a volatile people. We are a we are a emotional people. But I think at the end of the day, we can still recognize that what's good is good, and what sucked sucked. And I don't think that BB20 is going to fall in that sucked category. So
yeah, I agree. So Brett is evicted. Then we are going to get to our HOH competition. Happened very quickly. The feeds came back on pretty fast afterward. And I was on Twitch, but nothing too crazy happened last night. We saw Angela as the new winner of the HOH. I think JC might have come in second, but they also talked about Sam doing well. So again, coming close to some more interesting outcomes for competitions, but ultimately it's just Tyler, Angela, and Kaycee combined have won, I think, something like the last 15 of 18 competitions. So it's crazy. Like, whoa, man, that's hard to overcome there.
They are quite the trio. It's really impressive. What is it? Tyler and Angela have both won 3 HOHs. Kaycee won 1 HOH. But what was it? 3 vetoes in a row. So it's like, yeah, they're really just passing off the baton at this point. And as frustrating as that is, and as boring as that can be, I'm like, that's kind of what I would want to do if I were in the house. Like if you're on Big Brother, you want to kind of, at least in Kaycee's position, I would want to play dead, be furniture, and then at the end of the game, just pull out the wins when you need to. So, yeah, it's predictable as hell, but it's securing them their spots in the final.
Yeah, I mean,
all the more interesting for us.
The last time somebody other than Angela, Tyler, or Kaycee won a competition was when Fessy won the HOH and Brett won the veto, and they sent Scottie home. It's the last time anyone other than those 3 won a competition.
That's an embarrassing statistic for them. But, yeah, they're the 3 powerhouses this season. They're really good. Good for them. Kudos.
Yeah. So Angela has won. She is going to finally let JC in on her pole vaulting secret. She's like, "Why did you hide that?"
I'm like, is production the ones that are like telling them to harbor stuff like this? Because it's like, I don't understand why. Who cares? You're good at jumping over tall obstacles. Like, who cares? Like, that's not going to help you in the game of Big Brother. Like, athleticism to a certain degree, okay, sure, yeah, like it might help you in comps, but in the overall scheme of Big Brother, like, nobody is going to care. I'd even wager to bet that no one really would have cared about Steve being an undercover cop. Like, it doesn't matter. Like once you get in the house and you're just spending time with these people, all of that stuff, like all the outside stuff melts away, and it's just about the game. So like, okay, Angie, like if that was your big reveal, it's sort of like, it just reminds me of Bronte saying that she's a mathematician. She wants to rid the world of ignorance with prime numbers. And it's just like, okay, girl, yay.
Yeah, it's silly stuff here. It's pole vaulting secret, but yeah, thinking about it, the competition wins again. We went into Big Brother Canada 6, the final 5, I think, with I think 3 of those people never having won a single competition, and then Paris surprised us and won 2 of the last 3 competitions and ended up taking the win. So I wouldn't necessarily count JC or Sam completely out of a competition yet, especially given how close some of these have been. These competitions tend to get a little more crapshooty as we go down to the line. So obviously, given the statistic, I think it's like 17-1-0 at the moment. I think that's the stats here for Tyler, Angela, and Kaycee versus JC and Sam. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything in Big Brother, which is what makes Big Brother so interesting. I do feel like maybe another thing that could have helped this season actually is a little bit more of these crapshoot competitions. That might have been a little thrown a little bit of a wrench into all of this nonsense.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, yeah, it makes it just a little bit more predictable when you give them the competitions that people are more likely to succeed in. I'm wondering if JC is, because I'm not the best Big Brother historian, but I'm wondering if JC is will end up being the highest placing house guest, winning absolutely nothing. Like, I know that Victoria made it all the way to to position 3, but she still kind of won things along the way. She won a veto. She won Battle of the Block, whether or not you consider that a win, because you were already on the block at that point. But yeah, I'm wondering, like, is JC going to be like the most successfully placing house guest without winning anything at all?
It's possible, especially in terms of Raw weeks. Obviously, you know, Dr. Will won season 2, but he won a luxury competition.
And at that point, the game was still a little different.
Exactly.
There were less people.
There weren't any veto competitions, so there was a lot less opportunity to win. And then in season 7, he didn't win anything, but he went out at Final 4. So if JC makes it to Final 3, yeah.
At least he'll have that for himself. At least he'll be able to say that. Even though I don't even think that he would even know that, because I don't get the inclination that he's the biggest fan of the show. But if there's one thing to walk away with for him, at least it's that.
It would be pretty crazy if he made it to Final 3, having never won anything. It makes it the furthest anyone really has, and then wins the Final 3 HOH and then wins the game.
Yo, listen, Taran, if that happens,
I think it's possible. I went over all the jury vote scenarios last night on Twitch, and I actually think JC has a shot to win even against Tyler. I do. I think it's possible.
I don't know. I don't know about against Tyler. Maybe.
I think Tyler's his biggest competition, but I feel, because I don't know. Thinking about, I feel
it's
like
not insurmountable.
I feel like JC could very easily have Rockstar's vote, because that's kind of Rockstar's deal. I think that if Fessy feels good enough about JC, which he still might, and Haleigh does, I think Haleigh could. I think Haleigh, Fessy, and Scottie might all vote together, and I think they could be a vote for JC over people like Kaycee, Angela, or even Tyler. And that right there is 4 votes. All he needs is one more. And, you know, if Tyler betrays Kaycee to take JC to the end, or if either Kaycee or Angela are pissed off enough, and I could see Kaycee being really pissed if she gets betrayed, because she's so about loyalty. I don't know. I think it's possible.
Okay. I mean, maybe. I mean, it all depends on who is the final 3. Like, if the final 3 Kaycee, JC, and Tyler, or is it Angela with Tyler and JC? Like, because if JC wins the HOH, isn't he? Because the final HOH is the person that sends that last person home.
Yeah,
right?
but I also forgot about Brett. I think Brett could easily be a vote for JC over. Especially over Angela and Kaycee, but also possibly over Tyler. I could see, like, because if basically, I think JC could get Rockstar, Haleigh, Scottie, Fessy, and Brett. I think those are 5 votes that I could easily see going to JC. I don't necessarily think they will, but I think they're 5 votes that he could get against anybody else sitting there next to him.
Okay. I mean, I was under the impression before this conversation that JC probably doesn't win unless he's sitting next to anybody, he doesn't win sitting next to anybody but Angela. But I mean, it's an interesting case. Maybe
like, basically, I feel like if Kaycee is able to beat Tyler in the end, that means that I think JC can also beat Tyler, and I think that also means that JC can beat Kaycee. And I think, basically, if that jury is bitter against level 6 enough that they don't want Tyler to win, or they don't want level 6 to win, then I think that he easily has at least those votes. And if instead they're like, we're pro Tyler, then I think Tyler beats Kaycee, and I think Tyler beats anybody essentially. But if they are in this sort of bitter state, then I think JC has a shot, and I actually don't think Sam does. Thinking about it, I find it hard to get Sam 5 votes, regardless of how bitter the jury is. I don't think Sam can win. I was thinking about it. You can maybe say Bayleigh will, you could say Rockstar will, but Haleigh is not going to vote for Sam. I don't think Haleigh is ever going to vote for Sam. And if Haleigh doesn't vote for Sam, Fessy doesn't vote for Sam. And if Haleigh and Fessy both don't vote for Sam, I don't think it's likely that Scottie does either. Granted, Scottie could go his own way. I don't know. It's who knows. But then I have a hard time believing Brett votes for Sam. I don't, maybe JC would, but I don't think Kaycee or Angela would. Maybe Kaycee's super bitter again if she gets betrayed, but Angela definitely wouldn't. So I think Sam might have 4 votes, maybe 5, but I think it's a lot less likely than anyone else, and I don't particularly think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely in last place as to who's likely to win the game. But it's interesting in that I think that a lot of these combinations, the final 2, are 5-4 votes. So that to me is the most exciting thing, because I think that for the most part, no matter who's sitting in the final 2, it's going to be a close vote. It's really going to come down to how the jury feels on that Wednesday night. So if you catch them on a good day, then you get a good outcome. If you catch them on a bad day, then it's you kiss $500,000 goodbye. So I'm really excited. I don't know. I still, as far as JC, I really thought that maybe, I don't know. For me, it's if Bayleigh, always kind of felt like whatever Bayleigh decides to do, Haleigh will decide to do. I might be wrong in thinking that, but I honestly feel like I don't know.
I think Haleigh, it will be a little more separate from.
She's had more time in the house, and she has a little bit more perspective. So there's that.
I think there's a chance that Rockstar goes along with what. I think there's a good chance that Rockstar does what Bayleigh does. I could see Rockstar being the flip vote, that she doesn't vote for JC because Bayleigh doesn't want her to. I could see that happening. They could still all vote as a group, collectively. That what Scottie was saying. And if that happens, then it's impossible to predict, because then we're basically all right, so who wants what, and then who is more persuasive when they're debating about who they're going to decide to do, and that's a complete crapshoot. If they vote as a group, then I have no idea. I don't think there's any way to predict what they'll do.
We just need more jury segments. That's what it comes down to. I want to see how they feel. I want to see them reacting to the people walking in jury, and I want to see where their heads are at. Because it's so unpredictable because the jury can either be emotional or they can be not emotional. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see how they actually decide how it pans out. Come on, Vegas, give us those photos. Give us that tea. How about that?
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of fun on Tuesday night on the roundtable. We're gonna have a lot more information, a lot more predictions from the audience about how they think the jury will vote, and we'll start going over all the scenarios. Of course, the updates. Once we get down to the final 3, we'll go over the final 3's games. So we've got a lot of analysis to do in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be looking back on the season. And I think we'll have a lot of fun doing all that stuff, because it's been such a fun season. But let's get back to the feeds. Angela, Kaycee, and Tyler are talking, and they talk about apparently Brett was trying to turn Sam against Angela, and I think this is what Sam was talking about during the double eviction when she says, "I'm sorry that I doubted you, Angela." Tyler's going to talk with Angela about Sam was trashing you and the double eviction. She was trying to get you on the block, and Sam admitted it to Angela and blamed Brett for it. Don't know what happened there.
It's just when in doubt, just blame Brett.
Basically.
Just send his ass out of there so he can't defend himself, and then just put it all on him.
All these people are getting noogies when they get out of the house.
But you know what? I'm happy that we saw Sam last night kind of put her foot down a little bit to tell him, be like you're gonna put me up, really? Like, put up Angela. Like, why wouldn't you put up Angela? And it's because she doesn't know the full extent of Angela and Tyler's relationship. But I was at least happy to see that she was like, there was still a bit of like autonomy with her game in that moment, and it wasn't just like whatever you want, Tyler. Like, ultimately that's what ended up that's what happened. But I was still happy to see her kind of put her foot down. And I don't know, it's just this whole tell them that it was Brett thing. Like, I don't know. It's just, at this point, I don't know what's the point in lying at all. This final four or final five of you, just be transparent about what you want to do, because I think it's pretty much that simple what needs to happen next for everybody that's still in that house. Like, who you need to go after. You know how you get to the final two. Everybody else does. Just play. May the best man win. Be honest about it.
JC...
Then we wouldn't be talking about it on the feeds afterwards, so I guess,
Yeah, JC is going to confront Tyler about everything that went down. What did you do, Tyler? What have you done? You've ruined us. You've ruined everything.
The best that he's like
not how it was
Tyler,
supposed to go.
He's like, you just need to keep your mouth shut. You need to keep your mouth shut, and you need to win this veto. You need to make sure that we don't go home. And I'm like, JC, like, this has been going on all season long. This is the end of the road for you. Like, come on.
I think he's recognizing. He's like, you screwed us. You screwed me. This was good for you. It was not good for me. And Tyler's like, no, trust me. It'll be good for you. And he's like, no, it's not.
Oh, Tyler. Oh my God. He's just, I don't know why he just can't cop to it. Just, I don't know, but it's going to be really, excuse me, it's going to be really fun to see all of this on the edited episodes in the future when JC is sitting there being like, hey, like we just have to win the veto, right? Like, because like now we're in this really effed up position because of you. So just win the veto and we're going to get a DR. Tyler being like, JC, like, man, like that's it. Like, you're out next. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go up on the block now. I wouldn't have been up on the block if you hadn't done this move. And Tyler's like, no, you would have been up on the block. Because basically Tyler's tactic here is, listen, I know you thought you had Brett, but you didn't. Brett was coming to me and telling me everything that you were saying and blaming it all on you. He was he was ratting you out. He was never actually going to go along with what you guys were saying. He told me everything. And Tyler has the receipts to back that up. He has all of the stuff that Brett did actually tell him. Of course, Brett actually was going to go through with it, but JC doesn't necessarily know that. So Tyler's able to be like, no, Brett was coming for you. That's why I did this, because it wasn't any good. JC's still not on board with this move. He still says this is dumb. I wouldn't have been up. I would have won that HOH if Brett was here. I wouldn't be going on the block if Brett was here. And Tyler's, no, you would have been. He's like, no. So JC says, you got to win this veto and take me down so we can send Kaycee home, because we need to break these two women up. And Tyler's like, don't worry, I got this covered. Don't worry, man.
A piece of me is still like hoping that maybe JC, I mean, I know that JC is pretty much dead on the water at this point, but I'm hoping that maybe JC can at least continue to hammer down that point. Like, we need to break Angela and Kaycee up. We need to break them up. It's not good for our game. I'm hoping that Tyler will eventually receive that information and be like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to do this because JC said to do it, because JC's out of here. But for me, I understand. Like, can I really beat Kaycee in the final two? Can I really beat Angela in the final two? Like, think about that. Like, what is your best course of action? What do you do? And I'm hoping that we get a little bit of that from Tyler, but I don't. The way it's looking now,
we need to hear from Tyler about what is he thinking. I just want to know. I've wanted to know for weeks. Do you want to take Angela to the end, or do you want to take Kaycee to the end? I want to know.
Yeah, he doesn't talk.
I want to know.
He doesn't talk to the cams. We don't see his goodbye messages because they're probably cookie cutter and boring. We really don't know what he's trying to do, and it's I mean, it gives us an element of unpredictability, but at the same time, it's like, but I want to, like, I want to ultimately be able to blame your shortcomings on whatever it is that you do. But if I don't know what you're thinking, then I can't like gauge how screwed up your game is.
Yeah.
Or how not screwed up your game is.
So Tyler is eventually going to play jealous. He's going to try and play this card with Tyler with JC, which I think is actually the most effective tactic here. He's going to tell JC, well, look, that's what happens to side hoes. JC's like, you were jealous of Brett. That's what happened. And Tyler's like, oh yeah, of course I was jealous. You were just going and talking to Brett all the time. Which is a great mirror of JC wanting Angela out because he's jealous of Angela. Right. So I think this is the motivation that JC understands more than anything. And so, because JC gets to be like, oh, I'm just so great that Tyler's jealous of me being with other people.
Oh, so yeah, these hoes ain't loyal is what it comes down to. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that's probably you need to know your audience, and in that moment, Tyler knew how to get to him, and I think that really, in a sick and twisted way, that kind of assuaged. How do you pronounce that word? Assuaged, yeah. Assuaged. JC's any guilt that he had about trying to get him out or this, that, and the third. He really, that was effective.
So they're then going to play two truths and a lie with JC, where they're going to give him some information here, and I think they're going to keep doing this after Sam leaves. I think they're going to maybe do this again, but with some level 6 information sprinkled in potentially. They tell him Tyler says I was the flip vote, the rogue vote with the Kaitlyn eviction. JC obviously knows this to be a lie because he was the flip vote. Angela says that she had the second power app, and Kaycee says that she was the hacker, and they say there are two truths and one lie here. Obviously, they were lying. There were two lies and one truth there. JC smartly says, I think Tyler's telling the truth about being the vote. Because that's the one that he actually did. But then he says that he thinks that Angela, he thinks that Angela is the liar with the having the second power. And so they're like, oh, how'd you know Angela was lying? Did you have the second power? He's like, no, it wasn't me. But then they tell him that it was actually two lies and one truth, and he's like, hey, Kaycee was really the hacker. They're leaking some information out. They're having some fun.
Yeah, I mean, they just can't help themselves. Blindsiding a bitch, even in a game of two lies and a truth. But I mean, at least they are. I mean, I think at this point in the game, it's easiest to let people in on the secret because there's only so many of you left, and there really isn't anything else to talk about since you kind of all know what you need to do for your game in the future. So there really isn't anything left to do other than to fill other people in. Excuse me, but sore throat today. But I just wish that they would do the same for the people that they already sent out, especially after the battle back. You don't have to worry about people coming back. But yeah, at least
I
JC.
don't know. Brett told us things. What are you gonna do?
So stupid.
Yeah. So we're also gonna get Angela talking to Tyler, and Angela says that in her goodbye message to Brett that they are in fact leaving goodbye messages to Brett. She says she played the victim and said she felt betrayed by Brett, and when she heard that he was turning on them, she felt betrayed, and that's why she turned. I don't know. What do you think in terms of is this the best tactic to take with Brett? Because I feel like this. I feel like the one thing Angela might have had if she was in the end against Tyler is that they might still think that she has got Tyler by the balls, right? Like they think that Tyler does anything for Angela, but the more Angela plays the victim and when I heard this, it makes Tyler seem in charge. And I feel like the one thing, they like Tyler more personally. Tyler's been nicer to them, but the one thing is that Angela's been playing the game harder. Angela's been in control of Tyler. So if she gives that up, then she's got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I just don't think that Angela knows to
Oh
the
yeah.
extent of which, like she doesn't. I mean, I think she's heard it. She's heard people say, "Oh, yeah, Tyler just follows you around. He just does whatever you want him to do." But I don't think that I think that she just kind of heard that and went in one ear and out the other because it's like not true. First of all, and second of all, she likes Tyler. Third of all, it's just like whatever. Like they're leaving, so I really don't care what they have to say. So yeah, I don't think that she really just knows the extent of like how much of a chess piece that actually is for her.
Yeah, I don't think she knows. I don't think anybody's ever talked to her about the fact that they think that she controls Tyler. I don't think she knows that that's a perception in the house at all.
Oh, I thought that Tyler told her that. I thought that someone
I
told
mean,
Tyler
like
that.
Tyler talks to her about it, but like I feel like it's a thing that they laugh about. That they like.
Right.
I don't think she,
It's a passing statement. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, it would definitely behoove her to talk up that narrative because I mean, in the end, if you get to the final two with Tyler, like it's going to be your word against his at that point, and they already have a preconception about you, so they're going to believe whatever you have to say. So it would definitely be in her best interest to do that. I just don't think that she has the game knowledge to do it.
yeah.
So
I sometimes wonder, just like, what is in the heads of people like Kaycee and Angela, what do they think, like because they both plan on getting to the end with Tyler, like why do they think they're gonna beat Tyler, I guess, is my question. Like what is in their heads that they're like, yeah, like if I'm Angela and I know that the jury hates me, like does she just plan on losing to Tyler, or does she think, like, does she have something up her sleeve, like what is her plan here?
in terms of Kaycee, I honestly think that Kaycee thinks that she can beat him.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
do.
Kaycee in particular, I think is just like, I don't think she's even thinking about. I think she's just thinking coast to coast, loyal. Of course, I'm gonna go to the end with Tyler. It doesn't even like, she's not even thinking like who would win. It's a success to get there with her, and she feels like if she does that and she plays her game, then she is who she is, and she might win because of that, which is potentially true. But Angela, I feel like, is a little more intentional, and I just don't get it.
I think that you kind of can just chalk it up to any other showmance, in my opinion.
I
I
guess
think
so, yeah.
that when you fall in love with somebody and like it just is what it is at that point. Like you are willing to do whatever that person wants to do. You're willing to do anything for that person in this game because that's all you have right now is this game. And making it, I mean, it's similar to what you just said about Kaycee. Making it to the end with Tyler that's the best thing for me because I can't see myself voting this person out. This person probably won't vote me out. So let's just ride it out to the end, and then whatever happens, happens. I think that the $500,000 has become a smaller goal for Angela right now. I think the main goal right now is to be there with Tyler, and I mean that's the social experimentation of Big Brother. That's where it is right there. Like we're not all gonna be people that are in it to win it, total strategists and making it to the end and winning that 5K with a perfect game. Some of us fall short of that because we are emotional people.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's of course, the one thing we really need to talk about. They do confirm Kaycee will join Angela and Tyler, and Sam is the target this week. She has been doing too well in competitions. They feel like it's easier to beat JC in competitions than Sam, so Sam is the person that they plan on sending home this week. Sam and JC will be the nominations, and then if they don't win the veto, it will stay that way. They have not talked about who would go up as the replacement if somebody wins the veto. I would imagine it would be Kaycee, but ultimately won't matter because they will just send the other one home. But as of right now, the plan is sending Sam home, so she is the one that will be leaving Tuesday night, assuming that she does not win the veto.
So level 6 has done very well for themselves, I must say. For them to get to the final 4 and probably get to the final 3, like that is a solid ass alliance. It's a boring ass alliance, but it's a solid one nonetheless. So kudos to them. And it'll also, personally speaking, it'll be very interesting for me because if in the event that Sam leaves, I'm in a draft with 3 other people, and that means that we will all have one person left. Like Sam or Angela's on somebody's team, Kaycee's on somebody's team, Tyler's on my team, JC's on somebody else's team. Like that'll be a very interesting. So I'm excited for that. I hope Sam does leave for that because that'll make a very exciting finale. And we get to lose 2 people this week or next week. So someone goes out on Wednesday, somebody loses on Thursday. So that'll be cool. I'm interested to see how this pans out.
Yeah, the Roundtable Stock Watch had a big crash last night. Brent and Melissa lost a bunch of Brett shares because they didn't sell.
Damn.
I sold my Brett shares. I knew this was coming. I prepared for the worst, and they just lost a bundle of money.
How is the draft going? I can't remember who's on who's.
Oh, we don't need to talk about the draft. Let's talk about the stock watch where I'm winning.
All right. Well, I guess I'll be looking that up to see just how bad it is for you later on.
I lost the draft like 2 months ago.
Damn, Taran, damn.
Because I've been down to Haleigh and Sam for a long time, and
Who am I supposed to model my draft picks off of now? If you're fucking out here, if you're losing out here.
Look, I talked about this last night on Twitch. I blame Vegas. I blame Vegas for this because I was thinking about picking Tyler, and then Vegas spoiled that Tyler won the first HOH, and I was like, maybe that's a little too hard, too fast. Maybe I should go with Winston, and then I went with Winston.
There we go.
I mean, to be real, I probably would have picked Winston anyway, just because of the look of Tyler. But I was close. I was between the two of them.
No, Winston was a favorite.
He was so charming.
Everybody. He was so good. I don't know where that went. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Maybe we can chalk it up to Ika just being a good interviewer. Maybe she just pulls the best out of people. I don't know, but that was that ship turned. Like, damn. What a mess.
Yeah. So I think Rob has got the draft here. So, because he's got Tyler, he was able to take Tyler.
Okay, Rob. All right. I mean, okay. Good for him.
I just got a tweet. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure the context. I'm assuming this is Brett's exit interview, and he's saying that he thinks Sam has played the best game in the house.
Are you? See, like I was afraid of something like this. I was like, he's taking this eviction too well. Too well. There has got to be something after. Like, this is not the end of Brett's narrative. Like, Brett doesn't be loyal to level 6, get betrayed by level 6, be okay with being betrayed by level 6, and then that's it for him. There's got to be something else to this. And the fact that, like, I really hope that that's not true. I need to see.
Okay, so the full quote right here is, Tyler made the strong move in terms of competitions, but he has a lot of blood on his hands, especially burning a final 2. There is still JC and Sam who have no blood on their hands. I'd say Sam because she has still remained in the house after all of this time and she hasn't burned anyone. I think she's been throwing competitions ever since her HOH to appear less of a threat. So it sounds to me like he's saying, like, I'd have to give it to Tyler, but because JC and Sam are still in the house, like, he's not even considering Kaycee and Angela. He's saying it's Tyler or JC and Sam, and I'd go with JC and Sam before Tyler, Sam before JC, because I feel like Sam might have been throwing competitions and such. So once Sam comes out, he'll be like, okay, JC, and once JC comes out, it seems like he's implying that he would pick Tyler, but really overestimating Sam here.
I mean, okay, I guess. Like, if that's how you feel.
I'm so glad I got this to get Amon's live reaction. That was a great reaction.
I really don't know what to say. If this comes down to, you know, I'm not even gonna put that into the universe. I'm really not gonna do that. I'm not about to sit here and speculate.
Sam's leaving this week. We don't need to worry about Sam winning. As long as she doesn't win the veto, we're good.
And then we'll get a jury segment with her coming into the house, and we'll be like, "Oh no,
we're all pulling for you."
Like, Oh man. See, this is why the end of the game can be very fun. Like I know that people are like really upset about the level sixness of it all, but like this is good stuff right here. This is Big Brother, and I'm really excited to see how this pans out. Like,
Yeah.
this is gonna be good.
Ishara in the chat says, right now I look like JC did last night.
Yo, he was shook. He was shook on that block. He did not know what to do with himself. That was the first time he'd ever been on the block, and yeah, that was.
That was good. That was good. First time, first time for everything, JC.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else that we should talk about before we wrap up, Iman?
No, I'm good. I mean, I was shook about what Julie did in signing off last night, but I'm hoping that was not a peace out, CBS. It kind of seems like it was. I hope not.
It did seem like it was. We did get some information from Vegas saying
we did?
that production did not. She did not tell them that she was gonna say that, but they were not like mad.
Okay.
So maybe that wasn't her intention, but who knows? It seems like she's still here to stay for now.
I hope so. I mean, in her original statement, she did say, "Hey, I'm just going to be spending some time with my family. I will be back," in reference to the talk. And then she said, "I will see you on Thursday night for Big Brother." So if I'm taking her at her word, it looks like she's going to still be here because the talk just started their new season. So it's not like an end of the season type deal where she'll finish it out over there. So I'm hoping that she doesn't leave, because I mean, I don't know. A lot of people are kind of indifferent about Julie Chen, and they don't really mind if she leaves because she's not the most charismatic host, and she's robotic or whatever the hell. But like, I mean, I don't know. I think that's like part of her charm, and she's been doing it for like 18 years, 20 seasons. Like, I would just hate to see her leave after all of this. I don't know, but
yeah, lots of shakeups happening. Apparently, BB UK was just canceled. But I feel like maybe this has happened before, and it'll just go to a different channel. Maybe, I don't know.
What was canceled?
BB UK.
Oh, really?
I feel like I just read that this morning. Hopefully, this isn't fake news.
I think that happened like 2 years ago too. Like, what is like?
Right,
what
I
is
think
going
like
on?
it's been like shut down before, and they brought it to a different channel, and so it might be a case where that happens again.
What is wrong with that show? Why does it just keep getting canceled? It's like so stupid. I thought that it was like based off of. I mean, the only reason that I really keep up with BB UK is because of BB Twitter. So maybe I'm just getting all of the fan and stan feedback from that show. But I felt like it was like so successful. So I'm like shocked that it's getting canceled at different networks. But whatever. I don't really watch it, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. Yes, we're getting confirmation in the chat. This is the last season, they said. But I do believe that this has happened before, and they just brought it to a different channel, so that it is possible that they will continue in some form or another. So yeah, lots of shakeups. We'll have to see what the future of Big Brother US is, and the hosts and all of that stuff. All right, I think that's all we got for you. Great update.
Yeah,
had some fun.
Yeah, lots of fun. We're heading into a really interesting week. Sam is the one to go, then probably JC after that. And yeah, it'll be cool.
If you have to make your call now, let's say we get to Angela, Kaycee, Tyler, final three. Tyler wins final HOH. Who does he take to the final two?
See, I tweeted last night that in the way that they just treated Brett, Tangela just lost BB20, and then I got like a shit ton of replies saying like, he's gonna take Angela, shut up. And I was like, is he though? Because I don't remember him ever saying that. I think that if Tyler has not realized by now that taking Angela is the better bet for him, then it's too late. So I'm gonna say that he takes Kaycee.
All right. There we go. We will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern to update you on everything that happens today on the feeds. That's assuming, I'm not sure when the concert's going to happen, but I assume the feeds will be down for a while if So if the concert happens today, then we might not have much to talk about tomorrow. But what are you going to do? We will, of course, be live tomorrow morning, regardless, at 10 a.m. Eastern, to update you on whatever happens on the Big Brother 20 live feeds. And then Sunday night, we will be live to talk about the Sunday night episode, where I think they're going to air the concert. Did they say the concert was going to happen on the Sunday episode?
Yes.
Okay, so it probably would be today, right? Because they're not going to film it Saturday right before, like the day before. So if the concert's on Sunday, I would assume it's going to be filmed today. So they're probably going to do nominations first, and then, or maybe they'll wait for nominations after.
Yeah, at least like let them enjoy the concert without with the weight of being nominated. I'm excited for this because I'm a bit of a BB Rexa fan. It's like the first artist that they've invited to the BB house, and I'm like, oh, I know you. So
it's an appropriate name, BB BB Rexa.
That's true.
That's
very true.
Yeah, we might get the concert tonight, but we will be live Sunday night to recap everything that happens with the concert and with the nominations and all of that. And then, of course, Tuesday we'll talk roundtable. We'll update the stock watch and talk about jury votes. I'll gloat about the stock. My stock victories, and then I'll be trashed for my draft losses.
I love that that's the backup. I love that in the year that you are doing particularly bad in the draft, that you have, at least you have the stock.
What I said last night on Twitch is that basically what's happened is I've been draining my powers in other I'm using all of my my good draft knowledge on the stocks. That's why I'm not doing.
Just looked at the chat. Brent is going off saying you haven't won yet. I know that's right. You better talk that trash, Brent.
Yeah, this would not be a podcast if I didn't brag before I won. Look, this way, if I lose, it makes my loss all the sweeter for everyone in the audience and everyone else in the world. And if I win, it makes it all the sweeter when I then eventually lose. It's got to happen at some point.
It's a win-win.
How many? Look, you be honest. How many people are like, haha, Taran's losing the draft?
I don't think that. I mean, I literally didn't even think about the draft until today. So I'd wagered a bet, not a lot. So it's a nice cover-up. I see the little thing that you got going on here.
Yeah, it's the backup. It's the backup that's become the primary. All right. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. It's been so much fun. Thank you guys. I feel like it was an exciting double eviction, but it was tough emotionally. I feel like we're healing this morning. It's a healing podcast.
I'm a lot more forgiving of this double eviction than I am in seasons past. So yeah, I agree.
You can find me on Twitter at Armstrong Taran and on Twitch Taran Armstrong. Amon, where can people find you?
You can find me at Amon Adwin on Twitter, going off, being crazy,
making videos.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. I will see you next time.